Hello world, welcome back to Razor RC. I got a chance to run a bunch more packs through my Team Associate T6.2. The last time out on its first run, there were some things I didn't quite like about the way it drove, so I was pretty much attacking this car in three different areas. First off, didn't seem to have enough steering, especially under braking, and I think that was pretty much due to the springs I was running. So I went from white springs to gray springs. These are actually V1 springs because I didn't have some V2 springs, but yeah, they work a lot better. It's not overloading the front so much, and then basically understeering at the end of the straightaway. I did have problems with that before. Pretty much fixed. You still need to initiate a little brakes to get this thing to steer, but it is greatly improved. Second thing was that tire wise, I wasn't quite sure which tires to use. I did kind of try some different ones. I actually tried Proline Prisms in the front, but that is way too aggressive in my opinion. You get tons of steering, but yeah, a little bit harder, or much harder to drive. So I actually settled on Schumacher tires all the way around. Pretty much you can't go wrong if you get yellow compound Schumacher tires on carpet. They pretty much will always work. So I'm running these. I think they're called the ribs up front, and then the mini pins in the rear. The other issue I was having was my motor just didn't seem quite fast enough, so I was definitely playing around with the electronics package. Dropped 2 teeth on the pinion because I wasn't really using the full range of RPM, so I'd hit pretty much the end of the straight before I ran out of RPM. So dropping that down does get you into the power band, which is pretty much on the top end, running 48 degrees of timing on this Wits Racing 13.5 turn motor. So that seems pretty good timing wise, but just need to drop the pinion a couple teeth just to get maximum RPMs there down the front straight. That might be too much. I might go back to a 22 tooth, currently running a 21 tooth, which I dropped down from a 23 tooth. Maybe somewhere in like that 21, 22 tooth range is probably ideal for my local track. The other thing I was noticing was it seemed like my servo was a little bit weak. Seemed like it was maybe giving in certain spots. For example, at the end of the straightaway when I'm like trying to turn under the brakes. Actually increased the voltage to 7.4 volts. So yeah, this servo, this ESC, everything can handle 7.4 volts. It even added some more RPMs to the fan because my fan is connected through the receiver, so everything is running 7.4 volts. It never ran 7.4 volts before, but yeah, it seems to be working pretty well. And then the other thing is that, yeah, electronics wise, I did mess around with the ESC settings, so I increased the drag brake to 12%. I think I was running 10% before. 12% does help. I think on carpet, a little more drag brake is a little more useful because things are happening so fast. Kind of initiate a little bit of brakes when you're entering the corners or whatever. So that seems to help. I might even increase it up to like 14 or 15%. I don't normally run drag brake that high, but it does seem to help. Also played around with the drive frequency and the brake frequency. So I don't fully understand what that does, but I believe the lower the values on the frequency, so I think I'm running like 1K under brakes and 500 whatever that hertz or something like that under the throttle. So whatever the lowest settings on this Hobbywing XR10 Pro stock spec, it's supposed to give you a little more bottom end. It did seem to attack a little more aggressively on throttle and also on the brakes. So braking was improved. Throttle response on the low end does seem improved. So pretty happy with those changes. That did seem to make a difference. Did play around with battery location a little bit. I don't know if most people know this, but you can actually reverse this battery strap around to kind of get like half steps in between these different holes. So I'm running it all the way forward, but with I don't know, I guess the non-screw side or the plastic side up front. I did try putting the screw side up front, but that just seemed to have too much weight in the front and make it a little unbalanced. So other than that, package-wise, I'm pretty much just running the Blake Champlin setup. Minor changes I made was going to a gray spring on the rear. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go up to 32.5 weight oil in the rear. I think his setup was 30 weight, but 32.5 weight I think will work a little bit better. Still kind of slapping a little too much on the rear end, especially if you're landing it flat, you know, without landing the downsides. But yeah, overall, I think a little bit of firmness would help as well. I think I'm also running a little more ride height than him. I've got the rear shock collars all the way up and the front shock collars, you know, maybe 3 millimeters down. Not exactly sure what the ride height is, but that's about as low as I can get and keep it pretty balanced with the the gray springs here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The car is driving pretty awesome. A lot of steering, servo is working well. The motor is now cooler with that higher voltage on the fan. So yeah, the truck is running really well. I think it's pretty close to how I like it to drive. Definitely the new tires helped. It was a little more balanced, so that just worked out a little bit better than having the Perline. I forgot where I was running the wedges, I think, before. So yeah, that's working pretty well. Pretty happy with that. Check out this running footage, and then don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon, and thanks for watching.